And good evening, everybody. Welcome to GoValiants.com field and online at GoValiants.com for tonight's men's lacrosse matchup between the Manhattanville Valiants and the Mount St. Mary Knights. Manhattanville comes into the game with a record of 5-1, best start to a season for them since 2008 when they won first 6 of their first 7, and are going to be looking to equal that mark tonight against Mount St. Mary. Manhattanville in their last game came away with a 10-4 win at Rosemont this past Saturday. Manhattanville got on the board early in that one, scored the first 2 goals of the game in the first 3 minutes, and never looked back from there. Andrew Murray led the scoring with 3 goals and an assist. Gianni Stefani and Christian Flores both added 2 goals, and Nick D'Elia added a goal and 2 assists. As for Mount St. Mary, off to a 3-4 start on the season, a 3-1 start earlier on, but dropped their last 3. The most recent game was a 19-11 loss at Misericordia this past Saturday. Now we're going to take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. And for Manhattanville, we have Gianni Safani, Tristan Green, and Will Duvall on the attack. Andrew Murray, Tyler Bentrowitz, and Nick D'Elia as midfielders, and Sam Hahn, Connor Keogh, and Sam Carlton on defense. As for Mount St. Mary, we have Tristan Early, Nicholas Graziano, and Vincent Escudero on the attack. Danny Kugler, Kenneth Gallagher, and Peter Beidel at midfield, and Gregory Rocco, Gavin Kelly, and Matthew Martino on defense. At this time, we're going to step aside from the national anthem, but we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting Knights. At attack, number 1, Tristan Earl.
And welcome back, everybody. Now,
on defense, number 4,
at the field, they are announcing starting lineups, but we are going to take a look at the players to watch for both teams. For Manhattanville, we have Gianni Safani, 18 goals, 6 assists for 24 points on the season. He's the leading scorer on the team, followed by Andrew Murray, who has 17 goals, 3 assists on the season, and Nick D'Elia, midfielder, with 9 goals and 6 assists for the total of 15. As for Mount St. Mary, it is Dylan DeMio leading the way, leading point scorer on the team with 29 points, 13 goals, 16 assists. Danny Kugler with 27 goals, leading Mount St. Mary in goals on the season, and a total of 28 points, and Ryan Marayo, 11 goals and 4 assists for a total of 15. Now we're going to take a look at the goalie matchup for both teams. We have Jason Freza in goal for the Valiants, 3-1 record on the season. A good save percentage and goals against, 619 on the save percentage, 7.3 goals against. For Mount St. Mary is Christopher Dorr, the senior, with a 3-4 record on the season, 12.51 goals against average, and a save percentage of 442.
At midfield, a graduate student from Yonkers, New York, number 7, Andrew Murray.
And at the conclusion of the announcement of the starting lineups, we will be right back for the opening face-off. Stay right with us.
Number 18, Sam Carlton. On defense, a junior from Briarcliff Manor, New York, number 22, Sam Hahn. At attack, a sophomore from Briarcliff Manor, New York, number 28, Gianni Stefani. At midfield, a sophomore from New City, New York, number 32, Nick D'Elia. At midfield, a senior from Hicksville, New York, number 39, Tyler Bentrowitz. In goal for your Valiants, a sophomore from Lake Ronkonkoma, New York, number 33, Jason Freza. The head coach of the Valiants in his fourth season is Ryder Bolander. He's assisted by Shane Wilson and Joe LaPopolo.
Welcome back, everybody. We are now just about set for the opening face-off on this Tuesday night. This game originally scheduled for tomorrow night, but due to the incoming weather, game pushed up to tonight. We hope everybody stays safe. And we are set for action as the opening face-off struggle for it in front and can be taken by Jake Caton. He has it knocked out of his stick by Danny Kugler. And now can be retrieved by Tristan Earl. Now sent across back to Earl, and he will hold. Sends it back up to Danny Kugler. As the wind, not as bad as this past Saturday on St. Patrick's Day, but still could be a factor nonetheless. Now behind the net, it is Vincent Escudero. As Mount St. Mary, to this point, content to keep everything to the outside before setting up their offense. So now it is Dylan DeMio, the leading point scorer on the night, hanging on for Mount St. Mary. He's going to try to start in. I tried to send it to the front, but the pass was knocked down. Mount St. Mary able to retrieve as they go around once again. Now on the run, in tight, and they score! Danny Kugler, just over a minute in, a minute 20 in, and not the start the Valiants wanted, as it is now 1-0, Mount St. Mary.
And for Kugler, that is team-leading 28th goal of the year. Certainly the top scoring option that Manhattanville is going to have to watch out for tonight. And that was the case there. He just walked right in there on Jason Freza. Sophomore goalie, really no chance on that one, as Kugler got by his defender and was able to put it home.
Indeed, and that now ties him for leading point scorer on Mount St. Mary. He's now tied with DeMio at 29 points, 28 of his 29, like you just said, Steve, being goals. So obviously a player to look out for in front of the net.
Off the face-off, Brandon Neff going at it for Manhattanville. It's won by Mount St. Mary and picked up by Kearns. Ball down. And it's going to be Manhattanville possession. The ref did a little bit of fake out there. He pointed a little bit towards Mount St. Mary, eventually gave the ball back to Manhattanville. Now let's see what the Valiants can do here with their first offensive possession. It's a brisk Tuesday evening here at GoValiants.com field. Andrew Murray with it. Murray fires high and wide.
Murray 3 goals in the past game this past Saturday at Rosemont, so near the top of the scoreboard for Manhattanville on the season, so he'll look to continue it tonight, as now we have Tyler Bentrowitz with it. Bentrowitz with a good pass in front is Tristan Green, sends it to the front, but the pass knocked down.
Will Duvall was wide open in front. Unfortunately, he tried to take the shot before the ball was in the cross. Bounced right off the top of it, an easy pickup for Mount St. Mary as Dorr, the goalie, picked it off, and now Mount St. Mary will get their second offensive possession.
Now it's DeMio once again. Now a good defensive play. I believe that was Sam Carlton who got the stick on stick and forced a turnover for Manhattanville.
Either way, good defensive play by Manhattanville as that player is open in front for Mount St. Mary, but good last gasp there. Stick check for the Valiants. Now let's see what Manhattanville can do offensively.
D'Elia almost faked the man out of his shoes. A little bit of an ankle breaker, but a stick save made by Dorr.
D'Elia walked right in all by himself as that Mount St. Mary player went down to the ground. I think that was Kearns. But unfortunately, D'Elia couldn't finish. D'Elia's going to try again.
And another save made by Dorr. So Dorr very sharp to start the game. A few good saves early on.
Rucco picks up the ground ball, and Mount St. Mary will have the clear attempt. So far, a couple good opportunities for Manhattanville. They've had some good possessions on the offensive side, but the goalie has been up to the task to this point.
There's nothing to show for it so far as we are 3 minutes, 40 seconds into the first quarter.
Great job by Kugler. I don't know how he stayed in bounds there and got by a couple of Manhattanville players.
3 or 4 players around there.
And his shot goes wide of the net. Well, that was a tremendous play there. I thought for sure he was pinned on the sideline right in front of the Mount St. Mary bench, but somehow he stayed in bounds, kept possession of the ball, and then got through a couple of Valiant guys and ended up getting a shot.
I believe we saw that Saturday with the women's players. Player from Manhattanville looked like they were trapped in the corner, 3 or 4 players surrounding and able to escape. So a lot of credit to these players and what they're able to do when in a tight situation.
Only difference with the men's, you can get cross-checked in the process. So the women, you can't have that. So a little more physicality in the men's side.
Makes life a little more difficult for these guys.
Keeping it on the near side is DeMio. He'll bring it back towards the middle. DeMio loses his balance. That's now 2 Mount St. Mary's players we've seen slip a little bit. It's a cool evening. The turf might be a little bit slick here at GoValiants.com field.
Still playable and not going to be the case tomorrow.
Certainly. Saved by Frezza there as he deflects that ball out of bounds. I don't think we've had any rain today. I mean, obviously the precipitation is going to be coming here. We know certainly in the next couple hours, but it's been a relatively dry day here in Purchase. Obviously a cool one, so maybe there's a little bit of slickness on the turf. We'll find out as this game goes on. Mount St. Mary will pass it along the outside, back up top, Kugler. Now Romanek going up against Murray. Nice retaining possession. Might see the shot clock come on here relatively soon. That shot goes wide of the net. Not sure if
I believe Fraser did get a stick on it.
May have gotten a piece of that.
And even it will remain with Mount St. Mary. So appears as though he did.
Ball stays out of the net. That's all you care about. Either way, it would have been a Mount St. Mary ball as they were closest to it on the end line, but obviously keeping the ball to the net any way you can. That's the goal.
Oh, good move and another good defensive play by Manhattanville.
Great stick check.
Simon Boisvert.
That was a tremendous stick check by Boisvert.
Mount St. Mary player would have walked in all alone once again.
But unfortunately, the Valiants can't control it, though, as it's checked out of the stick of Sam Carlton, and the Knights possess. That ball down, kicked by Boisvert.
Boisvert, another good defensive play and looking for the clear.
And he does pick it up and then promptly tosses it down the field. Looks like Duvall's going to get to it first, though.
Duval, an offensive opportunity for Manhattanville, but the pass not able to connect. He was looking for Tristan Green, and Mount St. Mary able to retrieve it.
Good idea there as Green was wide open in front, but the execution just not there for Manhattanville. We've seen it a couple times so far early on in this contest.
We are just about 7 minutes into the first quarter, a 1-0 lead for Mount St. Mary in what's been a relatively defensive-minded game to this point.
Both teams have certainly had their opportunities.
A few good saves down on the other end by Christopher Dorr to keep this a 1-0 game early on.
Here's a shot goes wide by Escudero. And it'll stay with the Knights.
Now ball sent back up to the top. It's Kugler looking for somewhere to go with it. Right on top of him is Jesse McGrath. Now moves in and forced back by McGrath. It's Manhattanville to this point, keeping Mount St. Mary to the outside for the most part on this offensive possession. Now it's McGrath, and he scores. Sorry, that was not McGrath. Check that. That was Danny Kugler. Who was being guarded by McGrath. And Kugler, just like that, 7 minutes, 40 seconds into the first, makes it a 2-0 game.
Kugler faked out, I think it was Caton, and he went to take the shot, faked it, and looked like he was going to take a stroll, and instead went right back in and took the shot and froze the Valiant defense. May have tricked Frezza a little bit there as well. Either way, he puts it home for his second of the game. And, you knew coming in that Kugler was going to be a person that Manhattanville was going to have to watch, and so far he has been the only goal scorer for either side at this point.
That is his 29th of the season for Mount St. Mary, as Manhattanville, difference to this point, both teams have had their offensive opportunities. Mount St. Mary able to convert, Manhattanville not able to this point, as Isoya Goto comes up with the faceoff.
Shot so far 6-4 in favor of Mount St. Mary. Manhattanville's down 4-3 in terms of shots on goal to this point.
Now Goto thought he might try to wrap it around in front to the net, but instead passes off to Ryan Leonard.
That's not Sawyer's job. His job is to get possession. He gets the ball in the offensive end and gets it off and gets the short stick players out there to try to put one in the net. Not that we haven't seen Sawyer score before, but not his primary occupation, obviously.
Now Sparby taken down, but able to retain possession. Now Duvall across to Tristan Green. Now Leonard with it once again and gives it up to Safani. Manhattanville, much like Mount St. Mary on the other end, being kept to the outside for the most part. But now Safani moves in and he scores. So Manhattanville's leading scorer on the season, Gianni Safani, with the first goal of the game for the Valiants, and they cut the lead in half. It is 2-1.
That's number 19 on the year for Safani as he went low and bounced that one past the Mount St. Mary keeper. I think that's a big goal for Manhattanville. Obviously, early in the game, it's only a 2-0 game, but Valiants had some chances, and you wanted to see Manhattanville eventually put one home, and that's just what Safani did there.
And say Mount St. Mary gets the next goal, you're down 3-0, and before you know it, things could get out of hand. So a big goal there for Manhattanville to keep it close, but still obviously work to do as they are down 2-1, 6:24 remaining in the first.
Exactly. I mean, obviously you don't want to be too dramatic and say, oh, that's a huge goal in this game, but
every goal is a huge goal.
you want to keep things going, get some momentum going in your direction. Spirits, it's a cool night. That's a deflection there.
Defensive play. That was Safani once again.
Couldn't keep it, couldn't control it though. Ground ball picked up by Martino.
A few Manhattanville players try to knock it loose with a stick and are unable to. Now taking it in is Anthony Kearns, and he scores. So just like that, Manhattanville comes down, makes it 2-1, and right away down at the other end, Kearns walks right down the heart of the defense and puts it past Frezza for the third goal of the game for Mount St. Mary, and now a 3-1 with 5:59 remaining in the first.
Well, Manhattanville gets the goal. Valiants almost had that turnover there. Safani deflected the pass, couldn't get to it. Mount St. Mary gets possession right back and comes right down the field and puts one home. So now we're back to a 2-goal deficit, and we'll see what Godo can do on this face-off for the Valiants. On the draw, won cleanly there by Mount St. Mary. As Gallagher wins that one, ends up going all the way back to his goalie. And we'll try the outlet on the near side. Tall offensive push-off, I guess, there on Kugler. And the ball will be back to the Valiants. Manhattanville looking to attack in transition. It's Kakavo. He'll pull it back out. Kakavo once again on the far side. Manhattanville settling things down here, looking to get a good offensive opportunity. Leonard goes behind the net. Duvall. Now Safani. Spiny shot saved.
That was a nice move, spinning to the inside. Able to get the shot off, just went over, I believe, the top of the crossbar.
Possession will stay with the Valiants. Dangerous pass intercepted by Navidez.
Pass by Duvall and a good defensive play by DeMio as he takes it down, looking to start the offense.
There's a big save by Jason Frezza.
May have been helped out a little bit by Connor Keogh in front of the net regardless. A big save to keep it at a 3-1 game with Mount St. Mary on top.
I think that was Graziano on the doorstep, and he was wide open in front of the net, and Frezza came out big. Can't do it twice in a row, though.
Not able to there, as that is Tristan Earl. The senior makes it a 4-1 game as we are down 4:19 to go in the first. And Manhattanville going to talk things over, calling their first time out.
Well, if you're Manhattanville here, I mean, they've had their opportunities. You know, it's not to say the Valiants, they've had some good possessions the offensive end. They've had some good shots. Frezza's made some good saves at the other end, but right now just not enough opportunities for Manhattanville as they find themselves down by the 4-1 margin here with 4:19 to go in the first quarter. Our stats right now, shots are 10-6 in favor of Mount St. Mary to this point. Ground ball is also 10-6 in favor of the visitors. Both goalies have made 3 saves to this point. So it's been a pretty even contest in most of the stats. Of course, you can go to GoValiants.com and check out the live stats for tonight's game as we go along this evening.
One thing in the last few home games we've been able to call, that Manhattanville has been getting a good amount of scoring and offensive production from their secondary scorers. It's not just been the guys at the top. It hasn't just been Safani and Murray. They've been getting scoring up and down the lineup, and to this point, not just the top guys, but nobody really able to get anything going offensively. Despite their opportunities, haven't been able to bury any in the back of the net except for the one by Safani.
Well, you look at it, Mount St. Mary, you saw Kugler with 27 goals, far and away more than double any other player on the Mount St. Mary team. For Manhattanville, meanwhile, you get Safani with 18, Murray with 17, Delia with 9. So you have some different players from Manhattanville who are able to put the ball in the net. And, it's going to find someone to step up. And down by 3 goals here, I think obviously the faceoffs start to become more and more important as this game goes along. So far, 3-2, Mount St. Mary leads in that category. We'll see if Godot can win the faceoff here for the Valiants, get the team in possession, try to get them back into this contest.
And possession, such a big thing. You don't think about faceoffs like they're the end-all, be-all, but can play such a huge role. We saw it Saturday with when the women's lacrosse team was playing. Controlled the majority of the faceoffs, the draw controls, got a lot of ground balls. Just having those extra possessions, extra opportunities can lead to a lot of good things. As a good defensive play by Godo right off the faceoff.
Great stick check there. We'll see if Valiants can get to it, and looks like a hold's going to be called on Manhattanville. Will give the ball back to Mount St. Mary, so tough break there for the home team. As that was a nice stick check by Caton, but the Valiants can't control it, and Mount St. Mary gets possession back, up by 3, 4 minutes to go.
Now it is DeMio, who seems to be all over the place, and a good save, maybe off the shaft of the stick by Frezza.
Or shoulder, or some body part, but either way, it's picked up by Sam Hahn, and he's going to race up the field for Manhattanville. Valiants looking for a quick transition attack.
Now Duvall avoids a body check and able to hang on.
Nice swim move for Duvall. Now he's being double teamed. He's got to get the ball off to someone else. Murray's there to provide some support. He gets it to him. Now Delia. Go behind the net, Kakavo. Excuse me, that's Safoni, Safani. Murray now with it. Murray behind the net. Don't see him behind the net too often for Manhattanville. He'll dish it off.
Usually right where Kakavo is right now, right up there in the middle.
Certainly the focal point of the Manhattanville offense.
Now Duvall moves to the middle, looking to get a shot off, but triple team there, taken down. And that's going to be, looks like a penalty.
Maybe push on Manhattanville.
Or just a foul on Manhattanville, as it was Duvall getting called for the foul. And Mount St. Mary will take possession, up 4-1 with 2:50 remaining in the first quarter.
Manhattanville right now, the story this earliest game has been missed opportunities. I think the Valiants have had some chances, but turnovers can always kill a team's momentum, and the Valiants have turned the ball over a bunch already in this first quarter, and that's been, I think, one of the things in this team's 5-1 start. They really limited the turnovers, and obviously when you limit the other team's possessions, it gives you a much more better opportunity to win. As Mount St. Mary is successful on that clear.
I believe it's Romanek with it right now for Mount St. Mary as he hands it off to Kugler. Kugler with or is it 3 goals for Mount St. Mary right now?
I believe he has 2.
I believe 2. That will make him 29 on the season as a spin move there. Now getting it back is Kugler, and he scores there's his 3rd.
He's at 3 now.
We are aware of that, as now with 1:59 remaining in the first, now a 5-1 lead for the Knights.
So Kugler, that's his 5th shot of this game already, as he has almost as many shots as the entire Manhattanville team does.
He said, "You want 3 goals? I will give you 3 goals." As Manhattanville, obviously we talked about it just a little bit ago, can't let yourself get too far down because things could possibly get out of hand. Obviously not to that point yet, but going to need to turn things around in a hurry if they want an opportunity to get back in it as the game goes on.
And this Manhattanville team this year has been a very good team early on in the game. You know, the last game against Rosemont outscored them 4-0 in the first quarter and really cruised from there. We've seen in the Bard game, the Western Connecticut game, they really stormed out in the first half and had about a 7-2 edge, I think, against the Colonials in that first half. So, you know, we've seen Manhattanville have some really good first quarters and first halves this year, and to this point, it's been just the opposite for the home team.
It's been all Mount St. Mary to this point, and Manhattanville not able to get out of the blocks to this point as they find themselves down by 4 with 1:40 to go in the first quarter. As now Bentrowitz looking to drive in, takes the shot, and a good save made there by Dorr. Then once again, Dorr come up to the task as he's made a number of quality saves early on in the first.
Dare we say, closing the door on Manhattanville. That was the Mount St. Mary idea. I'd be using that pun a bunch of times in my headlines.
If only he was on Manhattanville, we could use that as many times as we wanted.
Mount St. Mary looking for a quick attack here.
They go around the horn. Good passing back and forth, but now going to slow it down.
We'll look to probably get one more possession out of this here as we approach with now 1 minute left to go in the first quarter. Expect the Knights here to really settle things down and try to get a couple of good opportunities, not let Manhattanville to get any chance coming back the other way. Now DeMeo wide open and goes 5-hole on Frezza and puts it home. And that was just a late attack there where Mount St. Mary guy got into the offensive zone before the Valiant player and just chasing him the entire time, even leaving for a wide open shot for DeMeo, and that was a pretty easy put away. Frezza didn't really have any chance on that one.
No, you beat your guy off the line, you were going to walk in with a wide open opportunity, and like you said, Frezza facing a shot from point blank range, not able to make the save. And now 48 seconds remaining in the first and a 6-1 lead for Mount St. Mary.
It's by far the most we've seen Manhattanville face in terms of a deficit this year.
Now we're going to see if they're a team that is able to play from behind. You know, they haven't had to play from behind for much of the season. Now we're going to see if they can just find any way. It look like they're a team that just need any kind of spark, any kind of momentum going to get themselves rolling, but not able to find it to this point.
Picked up by Manhattanville, Jesse McGrath with it. Escapes a couple of Mount St. Mary players. Will go to the near side. Valiants try to get the ball in the offensive zone. Nice job by Hahn there. He'll cross over midfield off to Bentrowitz. Excuse me, Kakavo actually. Now Kakavo, his shot score! TJ Kakavo with the flag down.
18 seconds left in the first. Now a 6-2 game, and Manhattanville obviously still the first quarter, but definitely needed that one to give themselves, as I was just saying, a little bit of momentum as we're going towards the end of the first and into the second.
And now we'll have a penalty as well on Mount St. Mary. Denny Kugler, 1 minute for slashing. So Manhattanville will go man up with 18 seconds left to go.
That will be a 1 minute man-up opportunity. Getting the penalty is Danny Kugler, and the Valiants more than happy to see him anywhere but on the field at this point.
Let's see what the Valiants do here. Only 18 seconds. If they can gain possession, they can just hold on and avoid the face-off in the second quarter. So obviously this is a big face-off here for Soyagoto to try to get possession from Manhattanville and give them a chance on the man up.
But not able to come away with it.
Yeah, face-off taken. See if the Lions can force
now
a turnover here really quickly.
It's now Ken Gallagher for Mount St. Mary, and he seems more than content to just hang on and
Gallagher will
let
hold the
clock
ball.
roll down for the end of the first quarter. As the horn sounds, after one, score the Mount St. Mary Knights 6, Manhattanville Valiants 2. Manhattanville going into the second quarter will have 43 seconds remaining on the man-up opportunity. And in that first quarter, not a lot to be happy about if you're Manhattanville.
Obviously, I mean, you know, they scored a couple goals. I believe both are Cacavo. They're crediting right now to TJ Cacavo. So he played, you know, he obviously scored a couple goals for the Giants. That was good to see, but you know, if you're Manhattanville, I think you got to take advantage of those opportunities. You know, we'll see how they respond here. And I think that was a good point you said about how, you know, Manhattanville hasn't played from behind this year. We'll see how this team responds. Down by 5 goals, they got the one to get back within 4. As you know, the shots have been 12-8. Mount St. Mary leads in that category. They lead in ground balls, 14-9. You know, I think overall it's been a pretty even game in terms of the stats, but you know, right now, both goalies with 4 saves, so that's a difference in the game right now. Mount St. Mary has scored on 6 of their 10 shots on goal. Manhattanville's only scored 2 out of 6. So, you know, for the Valiants here, obviously this man-up opportunity is a big one here. I think the Valiants so far this season have been a very good team scoring man-up. Their special teams in all categories has been very good this season under head coach Ryder Bolander. So, it's something you want to see how Manhattanville can respond here. To get a face-off draw off the beginning of the second quarter would be a big thing to really give them a decent amount of time in the offensive zone. So it's going to be a big face-off here to begin the second quarter, and you know, we'll see how the Valiants respond.
You were talking about shots. Just, I believe, like you said, 6 shots for Manhattanville in the first, averaging 39.5 per game coming into this one. So obviously something to take note of, see if they can just in any way, find any way to just get the ball to the net. Never know what can happen. We say it all the time. So we could set for the start of the second quarter. Just find an opportunity to get the ball to the net. You throw it there. You might get a good bounce. You might have a rebound come right to another teammate. You never know what can happen. So maybe having more of that mindset, just getting the ball to the net and hoping for the best at this point. As Manhattanville not able to get a lot of offensive opportunities, just the 6 shots to this point.
Looks like Brandon Neff will take the face-off.
Or maybe not.
Or excuse me, there's no face-off for Manhattanville here as they are man up.
But Mount St. Mary will start with the ball.
Excuse me, yeah, Mount St. Mary gets possession. That's why that face-off was so important to begin with a couple seconds left, as Mount St. Mary can try to take off as much time as they can. That's DeMeo with it. Giants a little surprised they're not doing a little more of doubling.
Yeah, you think at this point, having a man-up opportunity, they'd be more aggressive on the ball carrier.
Now here comes Asen on the double team. DeMeo gets by both Valiant players.
But now, Manhattanville not going to have any time to do anything with the man-up opportunity, as we're now down to 10 seconds remaining on it.
So a wasted man-up opportunity for the Valiants after Cacavo got that goal. You thought maybe they win the face-off, they get a man-up goal. It's all of a sudden 6-3, but now we're back to even.
Like you said, that face-off, how important it was, as Manhattanville not even able to have possession during that 1-minute man-up opportunity, as now the last man right now Manhattanville wants to see with the ball in his stick is Danny Kugler.
Kugler against Caton.
Nicholas Graziano was calling for it for a few seconds, jumping up and down. Finally able to get it, but at this point, Manhattanville aware that he's open in front of the net.
You don't see that too often, a player jumping up and down like that, begging for someone to get him the ball, but after a while, the Valiants caught on. That ball down on the ground for a split second. Ooh, some nice moves. Hahn stays with him, though.
That is Tristan Earl, who has a goal in this game, and now is saved by Frezza. A good opportunity in front.
Graziano gets denied.
Is that McGrath in the game?
Yeah, McGrath is in goal for Manhattanville.
Now in goal. As Coach Ryder Bolander decides to switch it up, making a goalie change.
McGrath in the year, 7.73 goals against average, a team best .625 save percentage in 93+ minutes. Made 20 saves in 93 minutes this year, so we'll see what the new goalie can do for Manhattanville. Obviously starts out with a first save.
Now it's Safani looking for somewhere to go, but going to hold and wait for the offensive players to get on for Manhattanville so they can set up the offense as Bentrowitz now comes on. Now he sends it behind to Duvall. Duvall right in front. Good pass and a great save by Dorr as D'Elia able to come down with the rebound, I believe, for a moment.
Knocked out of his stick, and it's back to Mount St. Mary.
Dorr with a great save in front to keep this a 4-goal game. Score remains 6-2 with 3:40 gone by in the second.
Big save, and another turnover for the Valiants. It's been
kind of the story of the
negative
game
so far this game for the Valiants.
Now Mount St. Mary behind the net go around, and the shot goes wide, but it will stay with Mount St. Mary as the wind starts to pick up just a little bit here at GoValiants.com field on this Tuesday evening. So now it is Tristan Earl.
Well, I'm not going to say so nice during that first quarter, but it was nicer than usual without that win, as a turnover forced by Chris Asen, and he picks up the ground ball.
Not nearly as windy as Saturday, so we really had nowhere to go but up.
Goes lofts it across the way to Sam Hahn. And Manhattanville will look for an outlet pass. They found D'Elia.
And D'Elia able to get by his man. His man went down, so once again, another Mount St. Mary player going down. We'll see if Manhattanville can take advantage. Now picked up by Safani in front, but not able to hang on.
Giants tried a little give and go, and it did not work between D'Elia and Goto. And a push called on Manhattanville. The ball goes back to Mount St. Mary,
and
we'll have a timeout.
So to this point in the second, it's been more of the same as what we saw in the first. Manhattanville with opportunities, not able to take full advantage, and obviously once again the turnovers playing a role. They had an opportunity in front for a rebound, had a turnover there, a few fouls that negated some offensive opportunities. So just having those opportunities not go your way as they seem to go their way in the first few games of the season.
Yeah, well,
showing up on the scoreboard right now.
You know, I mean, in some things, you know, I mean, this Mount St. Mary team, certainly their record 3-4 in the year, but this is a good team. And this is a team that has plays Manhattanville really well in the last couple of years. It was a 1-0 or 1-goal game last year that Manhattanville won. They scored late in the fourth quarter to win it. So, you know, this has been a very good test. And you look at Manhattanville's schedule this year. You know, Farmingdale was a good win. Western Connecticut was a good win. Merchant Marine was a very good game. The one game that Manhattanville has lost so far this season. And you look in the next couple of games, St. Joseph's is going to be a good one. Kane's going to be a good one. So I think head coach Ryder Bolander this year, I think, has really upped the schedule for Manhattanville a little bit. I think he recognized that this team is ready to play some higher quality competition. I think this team is ready to make more of a stand when it comes to conference play. So I think he's really done well with putting some good teams on the schedule for Manhattanville so that they have, you know, some good competition. When they get to conference, they'll know the teams they're playing against. They'll be up against good teams. So, you know, it's been nice to see the level being raised a little bit here from Manhattanville Lacrosse. It's taken a while for Coach Bolander, as we said, in his fourth season. You know, this team didn't win a game a couple of years ago. And, you know, he's really slowly built this program up, and now I think they're at the level where they're expecting to be competing for a conference championship, which is something we really didn't see a few years ago or couldn't really imagine a couple of years ago. So it's been a nice thing to see. And Holy Manhattanville, obviously a long ways to go in this game here, try to come back and try to keep this winning ways going.
And in such a short time, indeed, as just like you said, just a few years ago, no wins. I believe the year after that, only one win.
Oh, yes,
so
that is correct.
one win in 2 years to a 5-1 start in just a few seasons, as now Manhattanville upping the defensive pressure, and that leads to a turnover and a great offensive opportunity, but the shot goes wide. Nice. As that was Jake Caton with the great opportunity in front. Manhattanville with a bit of a 3-on-2 opportunity, but not able to convert once again.
And that's where that defense comes in big. If you can force turnovers like that and get a quick transition opportunity, Caton open in front after a nice feed from Duvall, but just could not put it on target.
And likely an adjustment that Coach Ryder Bolander made during the timeout, telling them get more aggressive on defense, try to force a turnover where they're able to, but not able to capitalize.
Bad pass by Kakavo, and Green couldn't pick it up.
It was
As a result,
Anthony Kearns took two body shots from two Manhattanville players at the same time, but able to hang on.
Again, another turnover for the Valiants, another possession for Mount St. Mary.
Now Graziano will get it back over to Kugler.
Up by 4 goals with 10 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
Kugler not able to turn the corner on Murray, forced back to the middle. Now his shot goes wide and will stay with Mount St. Mary.
9:58 on the clock in the second quarter of play. There's a shot that goes wide. That was Graziano off the feed from behind the net. And again, we'll stay with the Knights. And as Ryder Bolander calls correctly, a moving pick on Mount St. Mary will give the ball back to the Valiants.
Who needs the referee when you have Coach Bolander calling it all out as Manhattanville looking to cut into the lead?
I thought it was just basketball coaches that did that. Apparently not. Especially calling out moving screens.
Now Manhattanville going to set up the offense. As Ryan Leonard comes in, has a bit of space, takes the shot that goes just wide.
I think Valiants at this point, part of their problem is putting the shots on goal. You know, Mount St. Mary, almost all of theirs have gone on target. Manhattanville's put a bunch of shots wide of the net.
As I just said earlier, during the intermission, Manhattanville averaging just under 40 shots a game in the first quarter. I believe only had 6, so maybe that's got to be more of the message. Just get the ball to the net. Never know what can happen. Maybe you get a bounce, maybe you get a rebound, something like that.
Valiants are top, I think, 3rd in the country, I believe, in terms of shots per game this year. There's a shot that is saved by Dorr.
Right off the stick and went right to one of his own teammates as a shot off the stick of Safani. Not able to find the back of the net yet again.
Like I said, this Manhattanville team is certainly not afraid to shoot, as we've seen on many occasions.
And apparently Dorr not afraid to come out of the net, as he's done that a number of times at this point, but not able to connect on that one and a turnover.
So let's see if the Valiants can take advantage here. You know, Mount St. Mary hasn't had a ton of turnovers so far in this game. We'll see if Manhattanville can take advantage, as it was Camarino who couldn't collect that long outlet pass. D'Elia brings it into the offensive end with 8:30 to go in this second quarter. Murray off to Sparby. Valiants doing a lot of one-on-one runs into the offensive zone here. Tries to get that passing that we've seen work so well for Manhattanville at times this year. Another ball down as Safani had checked out of his stick. And another turnover, but now it's given right back to Duvall. His shot saved again.
Dorr is clearly on his game tonight, so Manhattanville going to have to maybe just throw every opportunity to get at him in an attempt to beat him, because he seems to be very sharp to start the first half here tonight.
Dorr off to DeMeo and an easy clear for the Knights. Manhattanville had only 5 players in the offensive zone there for a second, but now they'll bring McGrath back in as Mount St. Mary gets their personnel on the field as well. Now here's Kugler. The Valiants have done a good job of bottling him up here so far in the second quarter. I'm sure that will be a broadcaster's jinx there on my part, but Valiants have amped things up a little bit defensively. I don't think no team has scored yet in the second quarter, I don't believe. And that will continue as McGrath denies Kugler.
I was waiting for the second you said that. I said they are about to score right here. It's going to happen.
But no, McGrath allows me to stay.
As a good defensive play by Mount St. Mary. Now they're going to have numbers going the other way.
Another turnover for Manhattanville, a failed clear for the home team. That has been the story of this game so far, the turnovers. Valiants losing that battle.
Manhattanville this season very good on clears, averaging nearly 80% of success on clear attempts, but not able to connect there, and once again the turnover leads to an offensive opportunity for Mount St. Mary.
Now Kugler taking his time. As we approach 6 minutes to go in this first half. Ball down, picked right back up by DeMeo.
DeMeo with a nice move. And a good save, McGrath.
McGrath has come up big so far in the second quarter. He's made, I think, at least 3 saves at this point to keep this a 6-2 game, but another turnover from Manhattanville.
And it's, you can say it a million times, and it'll, to this point, still be the case. The turnovers absolutely killing Manhattanville, shooting themselves in the foot to this point with their ball security.
Great pickoff there by Chris Asen, though. And Manhattanville will see if they can get a clear going, and Asen loses his balance, and another turnover for Manhattanville. And these turnovers are killer, I think, for the Valiants right now, as they've been playing defense for the last, I'd say, 2 minutes here. Mount St. Mary really starting to put some pressure on the Valiant defense. They got to get the ball in the offensive end, give their D at least a couple seconds to rest, as the Knights come right back on the attack. DeMeo with it on the near side. And he'll go behind the net, followed by McGrath. DeMeo's shot goes wide, and it's going to stay with Mount St. Mary. And we'll have a timeout called by Manhattanville with 4:51 to go. In the second quarter, 6-2 is the score. Oh, for Manhattanville here, I mean, obviously things not going the way you would hope to this point in the contest. Obviously still a long ways to go here at GoValiants.com field. But for the Valiants, you know, I think, I mean, you've obviously, we're harping on the turnovers, which is of course one of the big things so far for Manhattanville to this point in the evening. Looking at the stats here once again, Valiants with 9 turnovers, 8 for Mount St. Mary. So turnover battle is relatively even, but I feel like Manhattanville's turnovers have been a little more, I guess, difficult to digest. I'm not sure. It just feels like the Valiants have had a lot more turnovers than Mount St. Mary so far here tonight. Ground ball is pretty even at 19-15 as well, and the shots 19-13 in favor of the Knights.
Or if nothing else, those turnovers by Manhattanville occurring in their own defensive zone, leading to instant offensive opportunities for Mount St. Mary.
Yeah,
and
we've had 3 just in this possession that have really kept the ball in the defensive end for Manhattanville for, I'd say, probably the last 3 minutes or so.
We have played just over 10 minutes here in the second quarter. 4:51 remaining. Manhattanville, if nothing else, try to get 1, maybe 2, just try to cut the lead a little bit closer before half. You don't have to get it back all at once, but you can get 1, get it to 6-3, 2, get it 6-4 going into halftime. Certainly something to feel good about, as you haven't played your best here in the first half, but you're not out of the game.
Oh, no, I mean, Lacrosse, obviously a 4-goal deficit is nothing, really. It's a couple face-off wins, a couple quick goals. You can do that in a couple minutes if you really needed to. So, for Manhattanville, I think it's the matter of just playing well, you know, and getting yourselves in a rhythm, getting some good chances offensively, and trying to get out of your defensive zone, as it's stuck in this end for the last couple minutes.
Mount St. Mary once again with possession and in no particular rush. Now, good job with the stick there by Anthony Kearns to hang on. Lost it, but able to retrieve. And those are kind of the bounces that haven't gotten Manhattanville's way tonight to this point. Now, that is DeMeo being checked by, I believe that is Simon Boisvert, kicking him to the outside. Good job defensively. And now the shot goes wide off the stick of Nicholas Graziano.
He wanted that one. He jumped up and down after he thought he saw that lower right-hand corner, but
that's his way of saying he wants the ball to jump up and down. He's done it a few times tonight, but in any event, Mount St. Mary will retain possession, as we are now 3:50 remaining in the second quarter, and Mount St. Mary with a 6-2 lead.
Defense has held firm here in the second quarter so far.
And they've had to. They've been on the field the majority of the quarter, so good job defensively, but not able to clear when they needed to clear. A few turnovers, not able to get the offense going.
It's been at least 3 minutes, I think, here in the defensive zone for Manhattanville. So far they've held, and that will continue as that shot goes just high by Graziano, again showing his displeasure with a shot going wide.
And that seems to be his spot, just to the right of the net there, right in front. So something to keep an eye on. I'm sure he'll be back there very shortly looking for another opportunity. Now
it's 3 minutes to go in this second quarter.
DeMio gets it back up to Kugler. Kugler looking for a shooting lane, not able to find it, and he will retreat and hang on.
We saw him make that move last time where he faked the shot, and then a second later would take the shot, but Caton was not up to it this time.
A timeout now called by Mount St. Mary as they want to talk a little bit of strategy here as we are under 3 minutes, 2:55 remaining in the second. Once again, the score still 6-2 in favor of the Knights.
Well, you know, if you're Manhattanville right now, I mean, the defense has held firm in the second quarter. The defense has looked good. They've had a bevy of opportunities to prove themselves in the defensive zone in this second quarter, and so far I think the rotation's going well. I think the man defense, they haven't really allowed many great opportunities for Mount St. Mary. You know, the shots from the outside, you know, you certainly, you'll take those, you know, almost every time if you're a defensive unit. So I think they've done a good job really keeping Mount St. Mary from getting in close. We saw in the first quarter, you know, Jason Frezza faced a lot of opportunities right in front of his net. But so far in the second, the Valiant's doing a much better job, help defense, and really keeping Mount St. Mary to the perimeter.
And you can live with that. If they're taking shots from the outside, you'll take that, like you said, all day. But I don't know how much of a difference the goalie change made, or maybe just tightening things up all around defensively. But a much better job in their own end for Manhattanville, but still to this point not able really to have, I don't think they've had any sustained offensive pressure in the second quarter at all.
No, I mean, McGrath has obviously made a couple saves, so that's been a good thing. You know, Frezza made some saves in the first quarter as well. So both Manhattanville goalies have done well in making some stops, but I think the defense, has really, you know, we said that. I think they've really tightened themselves up here in the second quarter. You know, credit to Coach Bolander and his staff for making some changes or whatever he did to get his team going the right direction, but now let's try to get the ball back and get something going on the other side of the field for once.
They're certainly playing on what seems to be a tilted field right now, and Mount St. Mary all the more happy to hang on to the possession with the ball and the lead.
I'll have to see if the stall warning comes on at some point here, as they've taken a couple of shots that have not gone on goal. That ball down,
but once again, Mount St. Mary able to retrieve as the wind starts to pick up a bit, not to the point where it might affect anything on the field, but we could very well get there as, once again, we do have the incoming storm, the reason the game was moved up to tonight as opposed to tomorrow.
Very good idea for head coach Ryder Bolander.
Good idea for everybody involved.
Yes.
Now good defensive play at Soya-Goto, and now Manhattanville going to have the opportunity to go on offense for what feels to be like for the first time in a number of minutes.
Under 2 minutes to go here in this second quarter.
As it's Caton now getting it down to Safani.
And
finally, the defensive players can get off the field.
I was going to say, finally give them a break, and you really kudos to Manhattanville's defense and defensive midfielders as they had a really big stand there as Andrew Murray almost gets picked off by the referee. Now, I think if this would be a huge goal here from Manhattanville to get that momentum back a little bit after the great defensive stand they had here for over 3 minutes.
And particularly in a game where you've been, I mean, there's no other way of saying it, you've been outplayed to this point. So if you can get a goal, just cut the lead down one going into the intermission, a little bit of a momentum boost and something to feel good about as you're going into half.
Now Murray with it on top as we approach 1 minute to go in this quarter. Murray, he'll fire. And that shot, I think,
I believe rang off the right post.
Yeah, I think it got by door and either the post or the crossbar. Either way, it stays with the Valiants.
So we are now at 1 minute remaining in the second.
Unlucky break for Andrew Murray.
Now Bencher, it's almost from the same spot, but not able to get the shot off as he is checked there. But the shot in, he scores. So, as we just said, big goal for Manhattanville towards the end of the first half. 48 seconds remaining. Now a 6-3 game as Tyler Bentrowitz gets on the board for the Valiants.
The senior, his 5th goal of the year to go with the team leading 8 assists. That's a big goal, and I think, unfortunately for Manhattanville here, this faceoff becomes pretty big as well because you want to keep this deficit at no more than 3 heading into the second quarter. Obviously, if Godo can get a faceoff win here, Manhattanville will try to get one more for the half. Really try to get the momentum going their direction.
And particularly because after the second goal, you let Mount St. Mary walk right down and scored what seemed like maybe 20, 25 seconds after it. So certainly can't afford to have a repeat of that here as you're winding down the last minute of the first half. You have to at the very least go in with a 6-3.
Let's see what Goto can do on this draw. 48 seconds left to go in the half.
But not able to come away with it, and that has been a big problem for Manhattanville this year, as they have won just 36.4% of their faceoffs coming into tonight.
Let's say this decade.
Faceoffs never been our thing, apparently.
It's always been a bit of a struggle for the Valiants, and we've seen some teams come in here and have players that win 95% of the draws and just really dominate you in that way. And
faceoff such
a faceoff guy is so important if you can have one of those really dominant ones.
I feel like faceoff is such an overlooked thing. It's not the most flashy play, but it's so huge. Giving your team possession and getting your chance to set up offensively. As a save there made.
That ball was checked out of the stick by Goto.
Now 5 seconds to go, and it's going to be Kakavo. He's going to have to let it go, but not able to, as the shot goes just wide by D'Elia that was Duval at the horn. So at the end of the first half, bit of a better job offensively by Manhattanville, able to get some sustained offensive pressure and put one in the back of the net for the third goal of the game to make it 6-3 going into the half. So obviously going to have to make some adjustments, do some things different. I think they played obviously much better defensively in the second quarter than they did in the first, keeping more things to the outside, not allowing those point-blank opportunities. But an uphill battle as we go into the second half of this one.
Well, certainly for Manhattanville, you wanted them to do better. They allowed no goals in the second quarter, I mean, you can't get any better than that. Start the clock. And if you're Manhattanville, you want to keep that defense going. I think that the defense was really sound in that second quarter, and you always say a good start can carry you to a win. A bad start can kill you, and you just hope if you're Manhattanville that 6-2 start doesn't come back to haunt them as this game goes on.
You obviously can't win a game in the first quarter, but you can put yourself in a great position to lose in the first quarter. So we are just about 9.5 minutes away from the start of the third quarter. So there's going to be obviously a few adjustments they're going to have to make, but I think for Manhattanville, obviously something to feel good about, if nothing else, going into the half.
No, it's certainly what you want to see from Manhattanville. That second quarter, a much better one. I think if you can clean up some mistakes and clean up the turnovers a little bit, give them some more opportunities. And that's the thing in that second quarter. They didn't have many shots, didn't have any possessions in the offensive zone. So
still an edge in goals, despite that.
Exactly. So that's one thing I think you can point to and say, if we can clean this up, we can get the ball out of our own defensive zone. We were 0-for-3, or very limited in clear attempts. If we can get that going a little better, I think we'll have a much better opportunity heading into the third. So with that, we'll take a bit of a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes to bring you the third quarter here at GoValiants.com Field. The score at the half, Mount St. Mary 6-3. And we're back here at GoValiants.com field, getting set for the third quarter of play between the Valiants and the Knights. Manhattanville down 6-3 after 30 minutes of action.
But as we talked about, much better second quarter, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, which they seem to be on for essentially the entire quarter. But now a face-off win, big control there.
Now it's Brandon Neff who got the face-off win for the Valiants.
As McGrath has, to this point, after coming in relief for Frezza, has shut out the Knights to this point.
Now we'll see if Manhattanville can get a successful clear. They had some trouble in the second quarter.
D'Elia, a few Knights around him, able to find his way around.
Weaving his way through traffic.
And going to get the clear.
Nope. He does not get the clear. He doesn't reach in the offensive zone, so another failed clearance for Manhattanville.
And we talked about it just a little bit ago. Averaging close to 80% on their clear attempts, but not the case tonight, as they've had trouble time and again with the turnovers and not being able to get the clears.
Shot saved by McGrath.
I think it may have just hit him in the chest or the stick, regardless. Keeps it out of the net.
Or the face, I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure if he made the save or that ball just hit him.
Not in the net is where it ended up.
Exactly, it's all that matters. It goes as a save for the freshman.
Now moving in once again and scoring once again is Danny Kugler. That is his 4th of the game, 31st of the season. And Manhattanville, after getting the goal late in the second to make it a 6-3 game, much like they did when they scored their second goal, give it back shortly after. Lead now back up to 4 goals, 7-3, and it's Kugler once again.
If you're Manhattanville, you got to find a way to string together goals. You know, I mean, obviously, when you fall behind by a large margin after one quarter, you got to find a way to get more than one in a row and get yourself back in the contest. So, if the Knights really can't afford just to trade goals back and forth with the Knights, you got to try to get 1, 2, 3 and to string something together.
No, you lost that luxury when you went down that early and by that many. So, you're going to need to be able to put multiple goals together, as you said.
Valiants should have had that ball as McGrath had a chance to pick it up. Couldn't do it.
And have to find a way. It was a great defensive play made there by Godo, looking to find any sort of way to try to slow down Kugler, because he has been the thorn in the side of the Valiants in this one with 4 goals, 4 of the 7 for Mount St. Mary.
But a great play defensively, and that's what you need from Manhattanville. You need those almost desperation-type plays, and that was what Goya had there.
Godo with a diving
knocked
play
the
with
ball
a
out of the stick. And gets the ball back from Manhattanville. And now, let's see if Manhattanville can keep the ball, get some possession, get some shots, and try to put some tiredness into this Mount St. Mary defense. They really haven't had to do a whole lot over the course of this game. It's been all down the other side of the field.
And it's been, when Manhattanville has had the ball, they haven't had sustained offensive pressure. It's been quick offensive opportunities, whether they resulted in goals or not. Not a lot of this, which is controlling the ball, slowing down the pace, but I don't know how much you can afford to slow down the pace right now, down by 4 goals in the third.
There's plenty of time to go here. I think you give your defense a rest. You give your offense a chance to really sort of settle in.
Now, good pass in front, and not able to convert was Tristan Green.
Great save again, and a nice job of steering that ball to himself. I believe that was Martino.
And we can talk about the missed opportunities by Manhattanville all we want, but Christopher Dorr has been very solid in net for Mount St. Mary.
He has definitely kept his team ahead. Manhattanville's that one right there, that was a point-blank opportunity by Tristan Green, and just a quick reaction save. And more importantly, the ball is down, and Mount St. Mary is the one that picks up the ground ball. So, you know, the saves are important, but getting the possession afterwards is much more so, I think, even for Mount St. Mary to give the ball back and try to get them back down the other way.
So now the shot goes wide, and that was off the stick of Dylan DeMio.
That ball was so far wide it went off the foot of Sam Hahn, who wasn't even looking at the net, I don't believe. And that it actually worked out well from Manhattanville, allows the Valiants to get possession.
And now it's Safani behind the net. He's going to give it back off to Ryan Leonard, who gets it up to Kakavo. And Manhattanville, once again with the offensive possession, see if this opportunity leads to any more success than the last one, where just the one shot and the rebound taken by Mount St. Mary.
Valiants, they gotta start taking advantage of their opportunities. That's certainly one of the biggest things. We'll see what Murray can do here as he races down the right side, behind the net. Out in front, wide open, a beautiful pass by Safani.
That is Duvall. with his first of the night, and Manhattanville gets it back the goal they gave up earlier in the third with 11:12 to go in the third quarter. 7-4 game, and like you said, great passing all around. The good ball movement leads to a wide open opportunity, and this time they're able to take advantage, not have it go off a stick, not miss the net. They're able to put it in, and that's kind of been the difference to this point, but still very much in this game, and a big goal as they cut the lead to 3 once again.
And that was a play where Manhattanville's done a little more in this after the first quarter, playing from behind the net, trying to get some passes out from behind the net, out in front. You know, Green had a wide open chance in front that was missed. That one there, great pass by Safani, and Duval did not miss what was essentially a wide open net, as Dorr did not even know where that pass was going to.
And you kind of sit there and maybe ask yourself, where has this been the rest of the game? But a lot easier said than done, as Manhattanville made it look easy there. But
still a long ways to go in this contest. Now we'll see if the defense can step up and force a turnover.
And a lot of work to be done at that, as now it is Dylan DeMille once again in a good defensive play, and the ground ball, Manhattanville forcing the turnover there, and coming away with it is Sam Carlton.
See, that was McGrath who forced that turnover, and that's now a couple times in a row. Manhattanville's been able to force a turnover.
That's what you need.
Get the ball back in the offensive zone, and we'll see if Manhattanville can finally try to string together a couple goals in a row here, get back within 2.
And that's what you need, getting those turnovers, getting the ground balls, winning the battle to the ball when it's on the ground. It's now Andrew Murray moves in. His pass wide of the mark. He was looking for Safani.
And it's a turnover for Manhattanville, so had their opportunity, don't even get a shot off, as the pass could not connect between Manhattanville's 2 leading scorers.
And those are the ones you kind of look back on. Should you not be able to come away with a win, you look back at the missed opportunities, things like that.
The unforced turnovers certainly are what you want to avoid. You know, when someone checks the ball out of your stick, that's one thing, but that right there, that's just a bad pass. And Valiants can't convert. Now have to go right back on defense here with under 10 minutes to go in this third quarter. Valiants down by 3. Coach Bolander from Manhattanville not happy about something.
Yeah. He's pleading his case to the officials. Appears to be to no avail.
Well, it's almost always to no avail. It's usually how that works. Very rarely does a coach get a call changed when talking to a referee.
It happens so rare that we actually make note of it usually when it does happen. So
exactly.
Particularly in an instance where we don't have the luxury of instant replay, for whatever the argument may have been. But now moving in with it is Anthony Kearns. He gets it across. Now it is wide of the mark, looking for Kugler. And Godo able to win the battle for the ball, but not able to hang on.
And it stays with Mount St. Mary. Under 9 to go here in this third quarter now.
Now it's Escudero hanging on and waiting for the offensive players to get on the field.
Say these jerseys for Mount St. Mary with the dark numbers on the dark jerseys aren't the greatest things to see, especially at nighttime here.
Particularly for the people trying to find out who is who, as we are. And another save
made
by McGrath.
Save. That's a gorgeous save by McGrath.
Bouncing ball towards the net, goes down
a great
to the
save,
ground.
A great save, and even more important, he was able to get to that ground ball as that ball had trickled away, and he was able to just stab it with his foot.
And one bobble there as a pass looking for Tristan Green, not able to connect. And it will go the way of Mount St. Mary. So yet another missed opportunity for Manhattanville. They didn't need to really force it down the field at that point, but they did. And it leads to nothing on the offensive attack.
We'll have to see if McGrath is all right. He looked to be a little shaken up as he got back to his feet after making that save and sprawling after it. Now a turnover here.
Now Boisvert in on defense.
He forces the turnover, as that was Kearns that couldn't handle it cleanly.
Now it is Tristan Green holding on and going to wait for the reinforcements to come on. Now D'Elia comes onto the field, and Murray going to be right behind him.
It's starting to get a little colder here, too, at GoValiants.com field. But at least there's no work tomorrow.
As a penalty flag comes coming. So Manhattanville going to have a man-up opportunity. They've had the only one to this point, not able to convert, not even able to get possession. So when that does happen, you're going to look for a little bit more production there. I think you're right. It looks like McGrath is hunched over just a little bit and favoring one side of his body. The shot by Murray is in.
So for
They
the
scored just like that.
the second time tonight, Manhattanville has scored with a flag down on the field.
And now cut the lead to 2, and they are starting to slowly but surely inch their way back into contention as this one.
And
They are now going to get another man-up opportunity.
And it's going to be a man-up because it's going to be a 1-minute call on Mount St. Mary.
And we're going to have, once again, the all-important face-off here, as coming up a 1-minute man-up opportunity for the Valiants with an opportunity to cut the lead to 1.
It's going to be a cross-check on Anthony Kearns. So Manhattanville, for the first time tonight, has put together back-to-back goals.
Yes, and Brandon Neff.
Let's see if Neff can get the face-off win. This would be huge for Manhattanville to try to keep that momentum going. Like I said, the Valiant man-up has been pretty good so far this season. Haven't had an opportunity to see that tonight.
Coming into
have a whistle.
And coming into tonight, the man-up, as you said, it was 15 for 30 on the season. Now 15 for 31 with failed conversion earlier in the game. But to be hovering around 50% on the man-up, something to be very pleased about and something that try to take advantage of here.
But now Manhattanville down, or excuse me, do not have the ball here, up a man.
But they're much more aggressive on the ball carrier at this point.
Turnover by Soya-Goto.
So good job defensively.
Yeah, caused turnover by Soya-Goto, I should say, as the ball trickled out of bounds.
And we saw in that first man-up opportunity, they were not being that aggressive on the ball carrier. Here, much different story, as they had 2 or 3 players swarming and able to force the turnover. Now they're going to have their first opportunity offensively, a man-up on the night.
Say, Goto has been a really key figure for Manhattanville this season, causing the turnovers.
Particularly the one down on the other end where you made a diving play right in front of the net as a Mount St. Mary player was coming in for a sherb.
So he
good opportunity.
He has at least 2 caused turnovers tonight. He's been a real key figure for the Valiant defense and midfield this season. Now see if the Valiants can convert. 10 seconds left to go on the man advantage. Venturits.
Venturits looking for somewhere to go.
Down
Shooting
to
lane,
5.
a passing lane, not able to find anything.
And we are back to even here as Benterowitz has it. Oh, Manhattanville fails on the man-up opportunity, and then Benterowitz turns it over as it's picked off by Beitel. Valiants 0 for 2 on the man-up tonight, and a missed opportunity for the home team.
Despite that, still down just the 2 goals. We are 7-5 with the Knights leading the Valiants with 5:40 remaining in the third.
So we'll see if the Valiant defense can step up again here. McGrath has allowed just 1 goal in over 1.5 quarters to this point after coming in for Jason Frezza after the first quarter of play. This is the first time really they've come down the field since McGrath made that sprawling save earlier. We'll see if he's still at 100%.
Maybe just an instance where have something sting for a few minutes and able to shake it off.
That's certainly possible with the way the temperature is dropping here tonight.
Now pass wide open in front.
Great help.
Good job swarming.
Great help defense by Boisvert.
Denied an opportunity for Vincent Escudero. Now looking to come to the front once again.
Defense
but
again
being forced
great
back.
Job.
Making them work on the outside. They're not letting them in the middle as they were earlier, particularly in the first quarter. Now coming to the middle is Danny Kugler.
Kugler's looking for a chance.
And that one, they get it, and that puts the lead back up to 3, as I believe that was Nicholas Graziano.
It was Graziano off the pass from Danny Kugler.
So Kugler with, I believe, 3 goals and now an assist, or I believe 4 goals actually, and an assist on the night. And the lead restored up to 3 for Mount St. Mary as we are at 4:38 remaining in the third. So Manhattanville, towards the end of the second quarter and beginning of the third, able to get a few goals. I believe they scored 3 out of the previous 4 goals before that last one, able to cut the lead to 2, but again, starting to trade back and forth, which is not something you can afford to do when you're down by 3.
Obviously still a long ways to go here, under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, but so you want to try to get those opportunities for Manhattanville, and I think they'll call a foul on Mount St. Mary.
So
as Gallagher was whistled for the infraction.
So now Cacavo able to retrieve, and Manhattanville able to get their, in a moment, going to be able to get their offensive players on the field. Now it's Sparty able to beat his man off the line.
the shot off, though.
As the wind, once again, starting to pick up here at GoValiants.com field, as we are at just about 4 minutes remaining in the third, an 8-5 lead for the Knights, as another man-up opportunity appears to be coming for Manhattanville.
That is correct. Looks like it's going to be a push on Mount St. Mary, so it'll be a 32nd man-up opportunity for the Valiants.
It's going to be a 1-minute penalty for slashing, I believe the official
No,
indicated.
excuse me. No, so it shows what I know. Christian Hillebrand, number 43, is going to be the guilty party for Mount St. Mary. 1 minute for slashing. And the Valiants will go on the man-up for the third time tonight. The Valiants 0 for 2 to this point on the evening.
This one, obviously, starting with possession because there was no goal scored at the end, so don't have to worry about the face-off here.
It's the first time tonight the Valiants have had the full 1 minute in the offensive zone.
Now Safani able to get it back to Murray, and he'll look to set it up. It's back down to Safani. His shot went just wide. Manhattanville going to be able to retain possession.
That was not the highest percentage of shots for Safoni there.
Very sharp angle. Now good passing across and Safani, much better opportunity there, but
certainly a much better chance and just missed the top corner.
Not able to get it on net.
30 seconds left to go in the man-up for Manhattanville. 3:30 to go in the third quarter.
Sometimes it can be not about how hard to shoot it, but if you can just get it to the net, as Murray looks to here, and he's not able to get it through. May have been deflected on the way in. So we're now down to 20 seconds left on the man-up.
Valiant's getting chances here. Safani, this will be a good one, and then he puts that one home. Off the feed from Duval, Safani with his 8th man-up goal of the season.
Now, once again, cutting the lead back down to 2, 8-6 now, in favor of Mount St. Mary with 3:20 to go in the third. So, much better job on the man-up. Obviously helps when you're starting with the ball in your hands, but with 3:20 to go, Valiants once again able to cut the lead down to 2. Now we can see if they can build on it and cut it down to 1 or possibly even tie it as we are down in the last few minutes of the third. And that was an instance of very good ball movement across the board. Even on the opportunities where they missed the net, still able to move the ball well, get some opportunities, and eventually results in the goal by Safani. As we're going to have some, not sure what the call is, but we're going to have a violation on Mount St. Mary, so Manhattanville will start with the ball. And once again, an instance where not having to worry about the face-off leads to instant offensive opportunity, so we'll see if they can take advantage.
That one there, Mount St. Mary, the penalty was slow coming off the board. I think Mount St. Mary players were not sure about the penalty coming off, so I think that's why the referee whistled the delay of games. That's a bit unlucky if you're Mount St. Mary. I don't think that was certainly their fault for that delay of game.
Now they're going to get another penalty called on them. So that one goes out of bounds.
What's Murray doing? Penalty called on Mount St. Mary. I don't know what Murray's doing, tapping guys on the head.
I think he's saying thank you, maybe.
Wow, I don't think he was saying thank you. Pretty much. He's a nice guy. I don't think that's what he's saying, though. So now we got a penalty called on the Knights. I believe it's on Danny Coop. No, excuse me. That'll be on number 40.
Yep, that is Matthew Martino, a junior from Walk Hill, New York. And it's going to be a 1 minute. Not sure particularly what the call is for, but once again, Manhattanville getting the man-up opportunity and a chance to cut the lead to 1, which is something that a few minutes ago it didn't seem like it was going to happen. But like you said, you can score a few goals in a few minutes.
See the man-up last time. They took them about 50 seconds or so for finally putting one home.
But they were able to move the ball well, even on the opportunities where they didn't get the shot to the net. But now a turnover here, and good job with the stick by, I believe that was Kakavo. Manhattanville going to be able to.
Now it's got to get the ball. It's still loose,
Not
and
able
eventually it goes back to Mount St. Mary.
And picked out of the air by Peter Beidel.
It's a killer turnover for Manhattanville there as you down by 2. You're on the man up,
but now Bagoto able to, looked like he was going to be able to retrieve, but not able to. And Manhattanville looking like they're going to run out of time in this man-up opportunity.
All of a sudden, the Valiants can't pick the ball off the ground. It's picked up by Mount St. Mary, but now it's quickly loose, and Soya Godo has it. we have a timeout called by Manhattanville.
So 5 seconds remaining in the man-up opportunity. 1:55 remaining in the third quarter.
So things certainly getting a little bit heated here at GoValiants.com field. This has been an intense game, and I think certainly the intensity is picking up. Manhattanville's gotten themselves back into things. A lot of jawing between the two teams, some theatrics going on between the two squads, and it's been a fun game to watch here, especially in the last quarter and a half, nearly 2 quarters.
Much more competitive game in that time frame as well, as Manhattanville found themselves down early, I believe 5-1 at one point.
It was 5-1. It was 6-2 after 1 quarter, and things look differently there. And we said Manhattanville's had to kind of turn things around to avoid the turnovers, play a little better defense, and certainly the defense has been much improved for Manhattanville over the last near 2 quarters.
Maybe the goalie switch was more about sending a message from Coach Wolander than anything else. Maybe he just didn't like the way they were playing defensively. It's his way of saying, you guys have to tighten it up one way or another. I'll do whatever I have to do, but we're not going to continue to play this way.
Now, there's 5 seconds left on the man advantage for Manhattanville. 1:55 to go in the third quarter. The Valiants will have possession in the offensive end. We said the man-up will be pretty much over, but if you're Manhattanville, you have a few extra seconds after the man-up expires before they really get back to their set defense. So maybe Mount St. Mary.
Maybe at the very most 10 seconds.
But if nothing else, just gain possession and get yourself a good shot. I think that's half the battle for Manhattanville here, is just settle things down, don't rush something, and try to get a goal here and try to get back within 1 or possibly even tie this game later on heading into the fourth quarter. Safani will have it in his stick for Manhattanville.
He's going to have a lot of room to work with once the referees give the ready for play signal, as here we go. Safani able to come to the front, now gives it back behind for Duval. Safani gets it back with an opportunity, he scores.
It's another man-up goal for Gianni Safani, and pretty much a carbon copy from the last goal as he took the feed from Duval and puts it home.
I believe that is his third, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's actually his second of the night. His second man-up goal of the evening.
First one was Kakavo. We mistook that one for Safani. So
Kakavo with 2.
Sorry, TJ.
Safani with 2. And the Valiants are right back in this game at 8-7 with 146 seconds left to go in this third quarter, excuse me.
Now, and we mentioned it just a little bit ago, with the last few goals, obviously having that goal is great, but even more important is keeping the lead, as now Mount St. Mary comes right down, and this is what you don't want if you're Manhattanville, to give it right back. It's now moving in and fighting off a few checks is Kugler.
I think Kugler got slashed in the head, but no call.
As that one is they're going to get a call now.
It's going to be Caton. He's going to watch himself.
Yeah, that's a little over the top there, as Kugler going to walk it off.
That's a case there where Manhattanville just a little too overzealous. And it's going to be Jake Caton. 30 seconds for pushing. And that's the first penalty of the game for Manhattanville. So the Valiants have done a very good job so far tonight of staying out of man-down situations.
In the last few minutes, things have, like you said, gotten a little more chippy, a little more heated, and can't let your emotions get the best of you, particularly when you're down. Although you're only down 1, can't afford to be a man down anymore.
Certainly a big kill here for Manhattanville to try to retain this 1-goal deficit as we approach the final minute of the third quarter. 10 seconds now left on the man-up.
So we are now down under 1 minute remaining in the third.
4 seconds left. Penalty is over.
Manhattanville did a good job keeping
Valiant's
everything
not going
to the outside.
Valiants aren't having anyone go back in the. Now finally they get that 6th person back in, so finally back to even though Mount St. Mary had an extra 5 or 6 seconds or so there.
Now in front, a good opportunity, and it goes just wide off the stick of Tristan Earl. So we are now 35 seconds remaining in the third.
There's a big final 30 seconds here in Manhattanville. If they can keep this a 1-goal game heading to the fourth, I think the Valiants will be in pretty good shape.
Or at the very least, you will take that, obviously, considering the rough start you got off to and being down by even more at the half. But we're now on
taking their time here.
15 seconds, and both teams kind of seem content, or at least Mount St. Mary going to hold it for the last possession, which
Kugler, he's going to take the shot.
And he's going to score.
Well, when you have a player with 30 goals on the year, you can afford to give him a little bit of time, and that's where Kugler was able to put that one home, and that's a dagger of a goal for Mount St. Mary.
A backbreaker at the very end of the third quarter with 4 seconds remaining. Now a 9-7 lead for the Knights.
For Kugler, it's his 5th goal of the game to go with 1 assist for 6 points.
That's something you obviously easier said than done, but finding any way to, if not shut him out completely, at least slow him down, because he's been having his way with Manhattanville to this point tonight.
I would really, especially as that got down to 20 seconds, I mean, you might want to throw a double team at him really quick to try to get the ball out of his cross. As the horn blows to end the third quarter, so we will head to the fourth with the Valiants down by a pair of goals at 9-7. As it's been a pretty even game here tonight between these two teams. Obviously, Kugler has been the difference with his 5 goals and 6 points to lead all scorers. Other than that, for Mount St. Mary, you have Earl with 1, Kearns with 1, Graziano with 1, and DeMeo with 1 in terms of the goal scoring for the Knights. For Manhattanville, you have Safani with 2, Hikava with 2, and Bentrowitz, Duval, and Murray all with 1 goal apiece.
And for Manhattanville, this is, a little bit lower scoring than you would anticipate. Coming into the game, averaging 12.5 goals a game, but got off to a slow start, only 1 goal in the first, and been playing catch-up ever since. Obviously, a lot better in the last 2 quarters, particularly after the goalie switch, but still, obviously, with the tough one to swallow at the end of the third, giving it up with just 4 seconds remaining. And once again, as it's been for most of the night, an uphill climb for the Valiants.
Well, the shots after 3 quarters, Mount St. Mary 28, Manhattanville 24. Both of our goalies have made 9 saves tonight. McGrath has made, I believe, 6 saves for Manhattanville since coming in. I think Freza had 2 or 3 in the first quarter, but McGrath has certainly done his job between the pipes for Manhattanville. Faceoffs are 10-6. Mount St. Mary leads in that category. Turnovers are 15-14, so even there. And Mount St. Mary with a 28-23 edge in ground balls. After 45 minutes of play. And well, we thought this might come down to the fourth quarter, and certainly the Valiants have done well to get themselves back in this game.
Definitely appears that way, as this one, by all indications, going to come down to the last few minutes, and just going to be a matter of who wins the fourth quarter. So many games decided in the fourth quarter, and this one appears to be no different.
And who knows, this could be the last game we play here for a week or two with the snow that potentially might be coming our way tomorrow.
What they say is going to happen changes every apparently 30 minutes every time we look at our phone. It went from 5 to 8 inches to a foot to 18 inches back to a foot, so who knows.
Well, so
nothing to do but just see what happens.
I'll be sitting in my home tomorrow.
As we get a whistle early on, and
infraction called on Manhattanville. So the ball will come to Mount St. Mary's. They have the first possession of this fourth quarter. As the wind picks up once again here in Purchase, New York. Thank you for watching tonight's broadcast here on GoValiants.com. Hope you're enjoying it from the comfort of your heated house, or wherever you may be.
Fortunately for us, not so lucky, but we are here nonetheless, as Mount St. Mary retaining possession here early on in the fourth. Just 45 seconds gone by, and with a 2-goal lead.
I'm sure you can see the Knights probably do a little bit more of a methodical possession type game here in this fourth quarter to really try to keep the Valiants off pace.
That's a good save there by McGrath. A shot that may have surprised him coming from a sharp angle, but he was ready and alert. makes the save.
Ground ball, though, goes back to Mount St. Mary's. They'll retain possession once again.
Mount St. Mary's to this point, maybe not.
Ball on the ground. Sam Hahn forces the turnover.
Now Hahn going to come down.
Now it's a 4-on-3 break here. Hahn looking for an option. He'll go behind the net and he'll race his way. He'll stay in the offensive zone, at least for right now.
Now Tristan Green with it.
Now Hahn will race off. Good defensive play. Manhattanville needs those defensive stops to get themselves back into this contest.
Now it is Kakavo with 2 goals on the night. Going to make a run towards the net. Gets the shot off, he scores.
Kakavo goes 5-hole through the legs of Christopher Dorr.
For his 3rd of the night to cut the lead to 1. With just over a minute gone by, a minute 41 gone by in the 4th, and Kakavo strikes.
That's a case there for Manhattanville where defense leads to offense. They force the turnover, they bring the ball down, boom, shot back of the net, and it's back to a 1-goal game.
Everybody has heard the phrase at one point or another, the best offense is a good defense, and no clearer example than right there as Manhattanville with a much-needed goal.
At the same time, the best defense is a good offense, the best offense is a good defense. Works both ways for Manhattanville right now. Things clicking pretty well on both sides of the ball. And the question is, can they get back to even? You know, they've been at 1 goal now a couple of times. They need to get that goal to really get themselves over the hump. You know, you see a lot of times teams go down by a lot early. They come back. They spend so much energy, intensity getting back to even or getting close to even. They can't really complete the comeback. And Mount St. Mary will eventually win that face-off.
Going to have to go all the way behind their net to do so, but they get it nonetheless. Is now on the run with it is DeMeo.
Now the Valiants once again will have to settle in defensively. 12:50 to go in the 4th quarter of play. Ball in the stick of Kugler. He has been dangerous all night long for Mount St. Mary.
Still no extra man or shifting things a little bit his way. So Manhattanville appearing to be content, just playing man up across the board.
Well, you see that the help defense has been there for the most part from Manhattanville, and obviously that's what you need. You need the help to slide over and get that extra player in his way if he does get by the initial defender. So
and he's got his stick primed and ready. He gets it. Wanted to let it go, but
I feel like he's someone that can, I think, shoot the ball from anywhere on the field. I think you always have to be ready if you're a Manhattanville defender because he's gonna fire it.
Well, certainly he's got 31 goals on the season. Not afraid to shoot it from any place, as ball gonna roll close to midfield.
Caton pushes Kugler in the back, and that's gonna be a foul. They'll keep possession with Mount St. Mary.
We get just over 3 minutes gone by in the 4th, 11:50 to go. And Mount St. Mary holding that 1-goal lead.
As the Knights here, I think, content to take some time off the clock and really try to work for that best shot opportunity.
Not necessarily stalling to this point, but just, like you said, waiting for the moment where you can execute to the best of your ability.
You usually get a couple minutes worth before they really pull the stall warning out. Although in the 4th quarter, I feel like in a game like this, they'll be a little more weary of stalling. Let's keep an eye out as well.
Now behind the net and in front, connecting with the pass to Escudero. But no shot on goal to this point on this offensive opportunity for Mount St. Mary. As a pass high, but able to be taken. Now to the front, they score. And that is Tristan Earl. With, I believe, that is his 2nd. And the 2-goal lead restored for Mount St. Mary.
As soon as the shot clock gets turned on, Earl's able to find the back of the net.
If you're Manhattanville, don't know how many more goals you can afford to give up, but you're down by now 2 with 10 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the game.
And once again, for the 2nd time, Manhattanville gets back within a goal, only to see Mount St. Mary score the next one. So the Valiants again down by a pair. Obviously still a lot of time left to go in this contest. Not over by any stretch of the imagination, but at a certain point, they got to get themselves back to even.
We mentioned it a little bit earlier. We'll see how this team that hasn't played from behind much this season is able to fare playing from behind. And to this point, they've shown that, if nothing else, they're not going to roll over and play dead, as they have fought their way back into contention in this one. But we'll see if they're able to complete it.
Another face-off win by Gallagher. And now Kearns does a pirouette to get by a couple of Manhattanville players. Duval looks to be a little shaken up, but he'll stay on the field. Those face-offs, that's a couple in a row with Mount St. Mary has one, and we talk about that possession being a really big factor as this game rolls down within 10 minutes to go as we approach the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter. DeMeo with it. Thought about the shot, instead passes it off and put in the back of the net. And that's Anthony Kearns off the pass from DeMeo. And now 2 quick goals for Mount St. Mary, and it's back up to a 3-goal disadvantage for the Valiants, down 11-8 with 10:02 remaining.
Just like that, you thought you were right in it, down 1 goal, and before you can blink, all of a sudden you're down 3 as we're coming down the home stretch here in the last few minutes. So I don't know how much more time you can, again, afford to spend in your own defensive zone, as you might have to be certainly going to have to be a lot more aggressive here.
Well, Valiants have to start winning some faceoffs. I think that's the biggest thing, is you got to start winning some draws. You can't rely on the defense to cause turnovers every single time down the field. You can't expect McGrath to make every save. You got to win some faceoffs and get the ball in the offensive end yourself.
McGrath, obviously, coming in relief, has done quite the job tonight, but really not many more he can afford to let in, or the Valiants defense can afford that many more good opportunities as Mount St. Mary's had in the last few minutes, extending the lead back to 3.
Godo took the draw from Manhattanville, but another win for Gallagher. You mentioned how important a good face-off guy can be, and Mount St. Mary is now starting to assert themselves at the face-off X, and a timeout called by the Knights with 9:50 to go in the fourth quarter. Manhattanville down by 3 at 11-8.
At this point, I would anticipate at least that Manhattanville is going to be throwing some double teams, or at the very least being much more aggressive defensively, particularly down by three goals. We saw it earlier when they were down by a number of goals. They got more aggressive defensively and able to cause some turnovers, able to get a few goals. So we'll see if they go back to that. But regardless, 9:50 remaining in the game and a 3-goal deficit for the Valiants.
So this game tonight is, at least according to the schedule, the start of a 4-game homestand for Manhattanville, as they
I don't know how true that's going to be.
are scheduled at least to be back here at GoValiants.com field on Monday against St. Joseph's of Long Island. The second-year program, it's a 7 o'clock start on Monday. And we're also back on April 3rd. The Valiants will take on Kane in their final non-conference game of the 2018 season. That will be a 7 o'clock start as well under the lights here at GoValiants.com field. And then April 7th, a couple weeks away, it's the first MAC Freedom contest of the year, the first of 7 MAC Freedom matchups to end the regular season. They'll take on Kings in a 1 p.m. matchup on the 7th of April. Hopefully by that point there's no more snow here on the turf.
I will not be. I will be in sunny, and I promise no snow, New Orleans on April 7th. So
that sounds awfully nice right about now.
It does, given the dropping temperatures. And
on that day I'll probably be at the softball field myself, because we'll have probably lacrosse and softball going on at the same time. So we will see what happens, but we can only hope that this forecast does not ring as true as we heard it potentially it might be, because if we do get 6-10 inches of snow, it's gonna wreak a lot of havoc on the schedules for Manhattanville.
Definitely going to eliminate baseball and softball for the immediate future, at the very least, maybe the foreseeable future.
Obviously, lacrosse is a little easier with the turf field. You can plow a little bit, shovel it, it can melt.
Not us, we don't plow.
Well, at the baseball and softball fields, obviously, you have to just let them melt, and there's nothing you do about it.
Nope.
Even when it does melt, you still have to worry about the field being too soft. So baseball and softball certainly could be in some jeopardy over the next couple weeks.
Certainly hoping for the best, but that is winter, or I believe today was the first day of spring. Sure doesn't feel like it, but that's winter/spring in New York for you.
And of course, we ask you to head to GoValiants.com and check out all the latest schedule announcements. We'll put everything up as we get postponements, reschedules, and all those things as the season continues here for all Manhattanville teams in the spring.
Or at least that's the hope.
Well, I don't think they're done yet. I think they'll have some more games, hopefully, after this tonight. It might be a week or two. But Now Mount St. Mary content to pass along the outside. As we're now under 9 minutes to go, 8:45. Stall warning is on.
The shot clock now starts 30 seconds and counting. Now, once again, Mount St. Mary obviously in no rush, but the shot and a big save by McGrath. If that one goes in, might start thinking about whether or not this one has gotten wrapped up.
Well done.
Now played back across by Soyagoto, way behind, and McGrath able to keep it in bounds.
Great catch by McGrath there. He has 1 foot on the line and was able to keep that ball in play.
Now it's going to be Sam Hahn looking for the clear. It looks like he's going to get it, and he will as he gets it across to Safani.
Well, 8 minutes to go. Manhattanville down by 3. At this point, they need to capitalize on every opportunity they can have offensively.
As the offensive players come on, Murray and Sparvey both coming on for Manhattanville as they now have the offensive possession and look to set up the offense as they're going to need goals in bunches and in a hurry as Sparvey moves in and his shot bouncer out of bounds. Manhattanville will retain possession.
7:39 to go. The Valiants, the clock starting to be the enemy of Manhattanville here as this fourth quarter ticks down to the midway point.
Murray looking for a shooting lane. He's going to let it go. And
Shot
just
goes
wide. Now it's going to be Will Duvall coming up with it. And this might just be the mentality for Manhattanville. Get an opportunity, throw it at the net.
It can't hurt to shoot. It certainly is not a bad thing.
Never a bad play to put the ball towards the net.
Assuming you have someone behind the net for the backup at least.
Now Tristan Green going to run along the goal line, send it up top.
That pass will get away from him, but
Murray able to retrieve.
Luckily Murray's able to track that down before it got to midfield.
Now Murray sends it down in front, and it is Green, and he scores. So Manhattanville once again not going down easy. 6:58 remaining, and the lead cut to 2.
So Green gets the goal off the feed from Andrew Murray. So that's what Manhattanville needed. They needed to score. And whenever they get possessions, the Valiants really need to put one home, and they did that there. Now down by 2. We'll see.
And this is where they need to win.
I was going to say, we'll see what Brandon Neff can do here on the draw, going up against Gallagher, who has been very good on the X for Mount St. Mary tonight. And from Manhattanville, you just need 1 or 2 in a row here. Just sneak a couple in, whether it's by violation or just find some way to get it yourself. Try to get themselves back in this contest.
And the struggle for it, and Manhattanville
will control.
Able to come away with it.
Gallagher couldn't control it. He pretty much won it cleanly, but then couldn't pick it up. And that's a huge win for Manhattanville there, and that's what you needed.
That was a penalty. I believe a player went offside for Mount St. Mary, so Manhattanville going to get a man-up opportunity here as soon as Mount St. Mary touches the ball. I believe it was Anthony Kearns who stepped over the line before
This could be a huge situation here if Manhattanville can.
If they could score, they'd
exactly.
The 1-goal deficit, cut the lead to 1, and get the man up.
We've seen already tonight. Manhattanville scored twice with a penalty flag down on the field. We'll see if they can make it 3 times.
Now it is Cavo.
It's Bentrowitz doing his bull rush. Goes behind the net.
Now it's Duvall looking for somewhere to go. Brings it to the front. Now going to be.
He's got slashed.
And that's going to
so
be
another penalty coming up. Now a good situation for Manhattanville here.
We are under 6 minutes to go. 5:50 and counting.
At this point, for the Valiants, don't want to take too much time off the clock here.
Would you consider just letting them touch the ball?
No, this isn't hockey. We're not going that route. We're trying to shoot, trying to score. It's a shot by Leonard. Gets blocked.
Now
eventually picked up.
They do touch up, and we will get the calls as we're going to have multiple of them.
I'm assuming it'll be one 30-second and 1 minute, I believe. Looks like there was an illegal body check.
And if you could score before the first one expires, that's big, because then you would.
Well, it should be at the same time.
So it is indeed a 30-second for offside and 1 minute for elbowing, I believe, is the call.
Illegal body check. So it'll be 6-on-4 for 30 seconds.
Now with 5:37 to go, this is where Manhattanville is going to absolutely have to cash in. if nothing else, on one of these.
So a huge opportunity here for the Valiants, up by 2. They need to put one in the back of that here in the next 25 seconds.
Now with a 2-man advantage as they go around quickly, and a lot of open space to work with. Now bringing it to the front, the shot and a save made.
Big save.
Big save indeed by Christopher Dorr.
Murray picks it up. 12 seconds left to go on the 2-man advantage. Back to Murray. Bentrowitz.
Now almost the same play, but Duval going to be forced back.
Ball is down. First penalty is up.
But Manhattanville looks like they're going to be able to come away with the ball, but
ball still loose.
On the ground.
No one's got it yet. Finally,
now
it comes loose.
Now it's D'Elia, and he puts it in. And Manhattanville gets it back to a 1-goal game, the closest they have been since the score was 0-0.
D'Elia, I feel like he almost just didn't know what to do with all the open space. He just kept running towards goal. There was no one there. He's like, should I pass it? Should I not? He's hesitated a couple times.
Like we said, never a bad play to just put it towards the net.
And eventually went to that short side, yeah.
Indeed, with 4:54 to go, Valiants inching once again closer to getting it back to even. And we are in for a very tightly contested and very likely to be thrilling final few minutes of this one.
Under 5 to go. Manhattanville now with 3 man-up goals on the night. The Valiants have been very good on the man-up.
We know it does say 11-9 on your score, but it is 11-10 now.
It changes,
yeah,
don't worry.
Yeah.
It's a couple seconds delay.
It's now the face-off, won cleanly by Mount St. Mary, but knocked out. A good job with the stick, but not able to retrieve with Soya Godo.
Godo, great job on the stick check, but no one there for Manhattanville.
He's been on it tonight. Forced a number of turnovers and had an opportunity for one there, but not able to complete it.
So now 4.5 to go, and as we said, Mount St. Mary in no rush to do anything. Keep an eye on the stall warning. I'm sure about a minute away, at least from that. Romanek in the middle. Up against Godo.
But you just kind of get the feeling that Manhattanville just can't afford to let another one in the back of the net.
No, I think the Valiants, they have a defensive stand here. This is a huge defensive opportunity for Manhattanville.
You've got to continue doing what they're doing right now, putting the pressure on the ball carrier.
Valiants lucky there. I think Caton
got
away with a stick to the head.
Absolutely.
Mount St. Mary coaching staff, Eric Seiderman, certainly thought the same as we did. Now Hahn coming in on a quick double.
As now they're going to get him, it looked like, for a stick check to the head. As the save is made by McGrath, there was another one that happened. Not able to get away with this one. I'm not sure.
That's a tough break, though, because McGrath made the save. That would have been so huge, but
I believe it is going to be Sam Carlton. Or actually, no. It is actually Sam Hahn.
Yep. Hahn, 1 minute for a slash.
And this is obviously crunch time for the Valiants to see if their penalty killing unit can get the job done. If they're able to kill it off, they'll have just under 3 minutes to work with to try to get the tying goal.
Mount St. Mary 0 for 1 so far on the man advantage here this evening.
And a man up on the season coming into tonight, 11 for 30. Now 11 for 31 with the first one, just around 35%.
This is a huge kill for Manhattanville.
And the penalty killing for Manhattanville is 19 for 23 on the season, including the one earlier tonight. So you've done a good job. But the shot here and a save made. A huge save there by McGrath.
Ball's down. Can the Valiants pick it up?
Connor Keogh had a shot at it, but not able to come away with it. Now there's 4 or 5, looks close to 8 players there.
Kugler comes away with it. That's a huge ground ball for Mount St. Mary to keep possession.
And had Manhattanville been able to come away with it, they likely would have been able to run out the remainder of the man-up opportunity, but Mount St.
8
Mary's
seconds left on it.
Still on the attack. It's moving to the inside, now forced back out. It's DeMeo, and he scores. With
that's
2:43 to go, now the lead 2 for the Knights.
An absolutely huge goal, man up for Dylan DeMeo. That's his 2nd of the night, his 15th of the season.
And that is how quickly it can turn. You have an opportunity to get the ground ball, get the clear. You're not able to, and just like that, 12-10 lead with 2:43 remaining in the game. No, there's no question about it. Manhattanville cannot allow another goal if they want any chance at getting back in this one for, if nothing else, to tie.
Giants need to win a face-off, though. Nothing happens unless they win a face-off here. So otherwise, St. Mary can just take more time off the clock.
But not able to, but ball still on the ground.
Ball is down, and the Valiants pick it up.
Yep. And it is Safani coming away with it.
So a big face-off win for the Valiants.
So the first part of the job is done. Now, obviously, need to convert as Andrew Murray beats his man off the line, moves in.
And it has steam coming in, but nice job of help defense by Kearns.
Now in front, Odo had an opportunity, but he was knocked down in front. The shot went wide.
Nice pass by Murray. Found Godo in front. Used that long stick to get to it, but just could not put the shot on target.
Now it is D'Elia.
2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. It is crunch time here at GoValiants.com field.
You can't afford much more of keeping everything to the outside. You have to start taking chances. So we are now down to 1:45. It's now a pass to the inside being held by Cavo. He's going to run it back.
Good job by TJ, at least to catch that pass. It wasn't particularly on target, but at least he retained possession from Manhattanville, which is the important thing at this point.
And now Tristan Green in the last 90 seconds of regulation. Going behind. Going to come to the front. And it is going to be Safani.
It's going to show a little more urgency here. Under 80 seconds left to go in regulation.
There's a spin move by Safani. The shot over the net.
It's saved, but a flag is down. So a big save there. However, it's going to be a cross-check coming up on Mount St. Mary. So Manhattanville will go back man up with ones on the scoreboard, 1:11 to go. Cross-check to Gavin Kelly.
So going to need a little bit of magic here in the last 71 seconds of regulation, but do have the man-up opportunity, and obviously going to start with possession.
No need to score here, I think, in the first 30 seconds or so to give them a legitimate chance to win a face-off and get back down the field. So you really can't take too much time off the clock here if you're Manhattanville. They're going to face guard Andrew Murray. So a four-person zone, and then Andrew Murray has a person on him. Now DeMeo will come back in the group.
Now Bencherowitz going to receive the pass. And
25 seconds gone by, and the man up. Manhattanville's got to get going here.
To the front, and the shot they score, and it is Duval with 45 seconds remaining. So Manhattanville down, but not quite out at this point, as now, like you said, the all-important face-off going to determine if Manhattanville has a shot to tie it.
D'Elia on the assist. Now it's back to a one-goal game for, I think, probably the fourth time the Valiants have gotten back within one. 45 seconds to go.
We'll see if they can get what they need, which is one more for the tie.
All the face-offs this game so far, none of them matter. If you could win this one, you'll be a great face-off man tonight. We'll see what can happen here for the Valiants. 45 ticks on the clock. This may well decide the game, who wins this face-off here today. Godo on the draw, and it's won by Gallagher.
As the
ball is down, and it's picked up by Manhattanville.
So they're going to have the opportunity, if nothing else. So now it is Jesse McGrath, 30 seconds to go.
Bolander is not going to call a timeout. And now he is.
Now he will, with 26 seconds remaining. So we are coming down to the wire here, as we thought we very well might.
It was a one-goal game last year, and looks like it's going to be a one-goal game this season as well. The Valiants had the possession. They got that face-off. They didn't win the draw, but they forced the turnover right afterwards, which works just as well.
And this is a game in which you've been, obviously in the first quarter, outplayed and slowly but surely inched your way back in, didn't quit. Now it's just going to come down to this last 26 seconds, see if you can complete the comeback and tie this game in the last few in the waning seconds.
Well, you know, this is if you're Manhattanville, I think this is the best possible situation you could have expected yourself after the way you played in the first quarter. You said it's been a slow grind getting back. They haven't actually gotten back to even yet after that difficult first quarter, but they have themselves a chance right here. 26 seconds left. We'll see what Coach Bolander can draw up. Obviously, you can expect Safani to get a touch. You expect Murray to get opportunities.
Leah, Duval, you can expect all the top guys.
If you're Manhattanville here, the one thing I think you have going in your favor is you have a bunch of options.
Yeah.
It's not just if you're Mount St. Mary, you're going to Kugler. From Manhattanville, you got a bunch of different players that can put one in, and they have done that already tonight. So we'll see who gets the shot. I'm sure they'll probably try to score relatively quickly to try to give themselves some more opportunities in case the shot doesn't go on target. But well, it all comes down to this here.
There's no choice but to score quickly with 26 seconds remaining in regulation time. The score, Mount St. Mary 12, Manhattanville 11.
You got D'Elia, Murray, Safani,
Duval,
Green, Kakavo, and Duval out there for the 6 offensively for Manhattanville.
Now 20 seconds. It is Kakavo to Safani. Safani moves inside. Safani with the shot and a save made.
Duval
Picked out of the air by Duval.
10 seconds to go.
Now he's got to move to the front. He's got to hurry. And now off the stick of D'Elia, and Manhattanville's going to run out of time.
He had the ball, and he tried to make the move before the ball went into the stick. And we said for a lot of the game there was turnovers from Manhattanville. They really hadn't had much of the turnover bug in the 4th quarter. But it rears its ugly head at the worst possible time as Dorr made that one last save in the 4th quarter. And as a result, Mount St. Mary comes away with the 1-goal victory by a 12-11 score. Oh man, that's just a difficult finish from Manhattanville after they came so close, and it just
tough one to swallow.
Part of the thing, we talked about it at halftime, is just sometimes you just build that deficit, and it's just too tough to overcome. And you can't get yourself all the way back, and that's what happened tonight from Manhattanville. Got down by 4, and then just could never get all the way back to even. They went to within 1 goal, I think, on at least 3 or 4 occasions. But it was just not meant to be tonight for the Valiants.
Just not able to get that elusive tying goal, as they now drop to 5-2 on the season.
Look, the shots ended up being even at 35-35. Mount St. Mary made 1 more save. That's the difference in the game. Dorr made 14 saves. Manhattanville goalies made 13 saves. And that one stop at the end of the game was the one that ends up being the big one. As McGrath played well in goal from Manhattanville, made 9 saves over the last 45 minutes, but unfortunately just not enough for Manhattanville as Dorr made 14 stops to pick up the win.
Dorr, like you said, the save made on the end, not sure who got the shot, but the save made at the very end to preserve the 1-goal lead. And that 1-goal lead would hold up as Mount St. Mary now improves to 4-4 on the season.
So with that, we thank you for watching tonight's game here on GoValiants.com. As you said, as a reminder, check on GoValiants.com next week as we will try to give any schedule updates for all the upcoming games and things we have going on for Manhattanville Athletics with the Storm.